Tonight we have two special guests. Just came back from Florida recently, actually. Hopefully in the near future. They actually were thinking about you guys, or we were trying to even make a trip to Florida possible. But with us going through so much changes right now, hopefully in the near future, maybe we can take a trip with them, even hear them speak or what they have going on. So we have two people tonight who are inspiring to me, who they make you think, and I think that's the most powerful thing, especially me. Whether I'm going through something at the moment, or I just kind of just sit back and I just listen to what they say. They have their own podcast, and I actually enjoy watching and listening to them because it makes you think outside the box about yourself, and I think that's huge. Everyone here in TMF is here for a reason. You guys have been through hell and back through stuff behind the scenes, and I'm so proud of you. But really take into effect what they're saying and how you can use it in your everyday life. Because honestly, I'm going to be in that chair today kind of thinking about how I can be a better person and how I can better myself each and every day.
So number one, Mike, I appreciate you inviting us out. He was on our podcast. He's a great guest, and I appreciate what he's doing in the community. So I'm Kevin Palmieri. I'm the host and the creator of the Hyperconscious podcast. I'm also a one-on-one peak performance coach. So I take people of all ages and I help them accomplish their goals, whether it's start a business, whether it's get in shape, whatever it is, relationships, marriages, all of those things. I'm also a podcast consultant, so I help people start their own podcasts because nowadays the podcast is the way of the future. The radio is going away, the television is slowly going away, podcasts are the thing of the future, so that's something I'm also super into. Alan and myself are speakers. We travel all over the country speaking on mindset, on habits, and I'm going to talk to you today about your mindset. To me, mindset is everything. You can have all the results in the world if when you lie your head down at the end of the day and you have negative thoughts in your head about yourself, your surroundings, or what you're doing, the results don't matter, and I'll go into that a little bit more when I tell my story. You want to introduce yourself now?
Should you go into your story?
I can do that, yeah.
And then, so the agenda for tonight is going to be a half hour of Kevin speaking. He's going to go into his story so you can relate to him a bit. Kevin and I were not always the men you see in front of you today. We built this through sacrifice, pain, due diligence, sweat equity. We've been through tremendous adversity, grew up without fathers, had every reason in the world not to win. And we're going to go into some of that, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about the mindset piece. I'm going to talk to you about how to design a life on your own terms. But the one thing I don't want you guys to think is that we're up here on some soapbox. At one point, we were just kids in Uxbridge, Massachusetts, trying to figure it out with no male role models in our lives, growing up with single mothers. So with that, take it away.
All right. I don't know each and every one of your stories. I hope you have somebody in your life that cares about you. I'm sure you do. But at the end of the day, every single decision that we make starts up here. Every single action that we take starts up here. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. So, as Alan said, I wasn't always the man I am today. I've been through a lot of things. I'm proud of the man I am, and I'm proud of where I am today. But 2 years ago, I wouldn't be here in front of you. I wouldn't even be in this room. I did not have the confidence to do that. I would have been terrified. On the outside, I had all the results. I had a brand new car. Who likes cars in here? Anybody? Yeah, I like that. Okay. Who likes nice houses? Okay. Tattoos? You like tattoos? I had all those things. Your mom's a tattoo artist? I like that. I'll have to go hit her up. I need some more work. I had all those things. I had a beautiful girlfriend. I had a lot of money. I had a beautiful car. I had a beautiful place. I had the body of my dreams. I was traveling all over the country working. Inside, I was living a nightmare. So I spent so much time away from my friends, away from my family, away from everybody that mattered to me. It got to the point where I was sitting at the edge of a bed in New Jersey, sitting on the edge of the bed debating suicide, thinking to myself that if I died today, that would be better than this life that I'm living, the life that I supposedly made. Now, I didn't kill myself, luckily, but in that moment, which truly was the worst day of my life, it was also the best day of my life, because now I want to be the person I needed when I was at my lowest point. Okay, each one of us has a passion, we have a purpose, we have a mission. It's all about uncovering that. And more often than not, your mission comes from your pain. Each and every one of you has a unique pain. I have a unique pain, but that means you have a unique gift to give to the world, okay? So number one, become aware of why you're doing what you're doing. How many people go through their day-to-day life and they just feel like they're on autopilot? A lot of you guys are in school, and you might not enjoy school, but eventually one day you will look back and possibly wish that you did better in school, because what you're doing now every single day, the habits that you have, that is building the foundation of your future. How many people want to go to college? Okay. Can I just get like, what do you guys want to do with your life? Yeah, go ahead. Just shout it out. What is it?
Cardiac surgeon.
Okay. What else?
I want to be a guidance counselor, but I want to combine psychology and theater. I want to become a YouTuber.
Okay. I can help you with YouTube.
I'm going to become a book author.
Okay. What else?
Professional broadcaster.
Professional podcaster. Oh.
Let's go.
Let's talk after. So every one of us has something that they want to do, right? We have to become aware of why we want to do it. There's this thing that Alan and I always talk about. It's why power. How many people are afraid of fire?
Who?
Fire. Would you run into a burning building? Most likely not, right? What if somebody you loved, if somebody you loved was in a burning building, you most likely would.
I would.
That's why power.
I would save that person.
There's no reason to do things that are uncomfortable unless you have a why power. Okay, so for me, the reason I'm speaking to you, the reason I've conquered my fear of planes, the reason I've conquered my fear of public speaking, the reason I've started a business, the reason I'm doing all the things I'm doing is because I need to be the person that I needed when I was at my lowest point. That is my why power. I have quite literally been on the floor in a hotel thinking I was going to die because I was having an anxiety attack, and I was fine with that because this is why I'm here. I'm here for no other reason to help people like you, to help people all over the world. If you don't take anything away from this, the one thing I want you to take away is if I can accomplish my dreams, if I can overcome my past, my adversity, you guys can too. I am nothing special. I'm a regular dude with a dream, and I'm just chasing that dream. So I want you guys to know that if you don't take anything away from this, that's the most important thing. So, just a little bit more about creating why power. You guys have to figure out why you're doing what you're doing. Okay? Why do you want to be a podcaster?
Because I've already felt it and I love to do, and I'm really good at communicating.
Okay. Was it, what'd you say, cardio, what is it? Cardio whatever? Why do you want to do that?
Because I've been through like a lot with my legs and stuff.
Okay. So for you,
I
it's,
know like a lot.
so it could be coming from your greatest pain. That's why you want to do it.
The only reason that I want to become a guidance counselor, but I also want to help other people on YouTube because I want to take mental health very seriously. I want other people to recognize it very carefully because not a lot of countries, like I said, Korea for example, their higher chart of suicide is pretty bad, and I feel their rules need to change. They need to basically take mental health more seriously, and that's the main issue.
Well, it's almost, a lot of people think mental health is taboo. Like if I'm comfortable saying I debated suicide. I don't mind being judged. If you guys judge, that's fine. But a lot of people don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about anxiety. They don't want to talk about depression. I don't know if you guys are dealing with that. If you are, don't be afraid to talk about it. It's not a big deal. It doesn't make you more of a man or a woman to not talk about
And
it.
there's something that I respect. And not a lot of people have the courage to basically admit that, yes, I suffer through depression
Right.
or different stuff. Sometimes they feel they're afraid that other people are going to give them criticism back.
Of course, but it goes back to why power. I always say, I will take all the punches on the face because I know I'm getting a kiss on the cheek from somebody. And that's why I'm doing this. Alan and I get a lot of crap from people, and it is what it is. I'm fine with it. I can handle it all. It doesn't bother me. So, for podcasting, for instance, we have to reverse engineer how are we going to get to that goal, right? Whatever it is, maybe it's being a surgeon, you have to reverse engineer how we're going to do that. So for you, that means going to school. That means going to college. That means all of these things. Are you thinking about that on the day-to-day? Are you thinking about that when you go into class, saying, I'm going to give 100% effort today?
Yeah.
Okay. So use that as your why power. When things get rough, which they will, or 5 years down the road, how old are you? 15. So 5 years down the road when you're in college and things are rough, think of that. Your biggest pain is probably your purpose. Every single one of you has some sort of pain. Don't run from that. Make sure you use that. You can either use your pain to hold you back, or you can use it to propel you forward. I'll take a couple more questions at the end. So yeah, reverse engineer it. For Alan and myself, basically everything we do is for this. Everything I do is to become a better speaker. Everything I do is to become a better podcaster, to become a better boyfriend, to become a better business owner. All of these things, to be in better shape. Everything I do has a purpose. And that's going back to awareness. A lot of us are doing things every single day that we don't know why we're doing them. Why are you at the job you're at? Do you know? If you don't, then it's time to question that. Why are you in the relationship you're in? This is something I deal with a lot. So many people come to me and say, I'm in a bad relationship, but it's better than being single. Is it really though? Is it really better than being single? Is having a job that you don't like really better than exploring a job that you might love? There's something out there for every single one of us. It just depends on whether or not we have the guts to chase it. And a lot of us do. We just have to be put in the right environment, and that's environments like this. It's so hard to do this on your own. Alan and I are a team. We've been a team for 2.5 years. If you can find a team to put around you, you are far more likely to succeed. And that's why it's a huge shout out to Michael for doing this, because this is huge, guys. And that goes into this. Change your environment. You are the average of the people you spend the most time with. That is a fact. Alan and I go to the gym. All of our friends go to the gym. We all work out. The people that we hang out with, our mentors, are podcasters. They're speakers, they're authors, they're coaches. That is all by design. The life that we're living, and Alan's going to talk to you about lifestyle design, the life that we're living is designed. Nothing is by chance. We're not living by accident. We're living on purpose. And that's the biggest thing that I want you to take away today. Every single thing that you do, every single action that you take has a repercussion. And if you're okay with those repercussions, that's fine. But let's leverage your life to the best of our ability and make sure you're doing the things necessary to get to your goals. This is something that a lot of people are afraid of. How many people are afraid to fail? Okay. How many people have failed a test? How many people are still alive? Every single one of you, right? It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. The one problem we have is when we're going through school, it's very cut and dry. If you get an F, you fail, you have to retake the test. When it comes to life, there is no such thing as failure unless you stop trying. I have never quit tattooed on my arm for many reasons, but that's one of them. I will not stop trying until I'm dead. That there is no other option for me. This is my life. This is what I'm put here to do. You cannot fear failure. If you try something new, you will fail. 100%. 100% you will fail. Who works out? Any kids work out here? Anybody want to come do push-ups? Let's do push-ups.
I don't know how to do that.
Let's go. Ricky's worked out.
So this is what's gonna happen. One of us is gonna do more than the other two. It's gonna be first, second, and third. What's happening, my fellow podcaster? So we're gonna do push-ups.
You got it.
All right, ready? So are you gonna count them out? You wanna count them out?
1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4,
I'm gonna be sweating.
5, 6, 7, 8,
9,
10,
10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
Steve's not stopping.
15,
That's why the backfire.
18, 19, 20,
Let's go.
23,
Ricky, good job.
24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31,
Let's go.
32, 33, 34, 35, 36,
Come on!
37,
Come on!
38,
39.
Come on!
Come on, you
40.
do it.
Yeah, push!
Nice.
All right,
Let's
so
go.
how many did you do? How many did you do? Do either of you feel like a failure? No, you didn't win. You failed, but it doesn't matter. You got better. You just got better physically for doing that. You just got better physically for doing that. The point I want to make is you're not always going to win. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Expect to lose. I was totally fine if either of these guys beat me. I'm sweating profusely now. All right, strong work. Thank you guys for that. So I just want you guys to know. Yeah, clap it up.
Let's go.
Oh God, sweating. So that's the point I want to make is I have failed so many times. I have failed so many times. I used to be a baseball player. I was one of the best players in the league. I was up. It was my turn to win. I struck out on 3 pitches and cried the whole ride home. I failed. And I let that affect the rest of my baseball career because I was afraid. It's not good. And the thing is, you will only fail if you stop trying. You both kept trying. You didn't fail. You just didn't win. And that's fine. You'll win eventually. That comes with practice. God, I'm sweating. All right, so number 6, keep stretching yourself. This is what happens a lot. People get comfortable. Just started that now, huh?
No, you're good. So I restarted the camera.
Oh,
Keep going.
people will stop trying. They get comfortable. They get comfortable in their job. They get comfortable in their relationship. They get comfortable with their body. They get comfortable with their paycheck. you guys always have to be stretching. That's what that was. The fact that you guys get up here, you both got out of your comfort zones. I know a couple people were talking about comfort zones. I'm sure you've heard a lot of, well, you know, your life starts at the end of your comfort zones. I can tell you 100% that that's true. This is uncomfortable for me. I hate flying. I do it all the time, right? I hate it. It scares me the whole time. I think the plane's crashing no matter what happens. I'm always nervous. But if I didn't face that fear, I wouldn't have just done a speech in Florida. I wouldn't have gone to Arizona. I wouldn't have gone to London. The only reason I'm capable of doing that is because I keep stretching. And wherever you guys stop, that's where your life is. The biggest thing, so Alan and I, our podcast is called the Hyperconscious Podcast. Hyperconscious basically means super aware. Every single action you have ever taken started as a thought. So when you change the way you think, you will change the way you live. Okay? When you stop growing, that is where you will live. And if you're okay with that, then fine. That's totally fine. But a lot of us aren't. And that's why people get 40 years old and they get unhappy with their life, because they're in a relationship that they don't like. They're in a job that they don't like. My goal, talking to you guys today, is for you to understand that whatever you want out of life, you can get. You can get. I'm living proof of that. Like Alan said, I had all the cards against me. No dad. My mom was never there. Super depressed, super anxious, suicidal, didn't have any money, didn't have any goals, didn't have any dreams, didn't have any mentors. I had every reason in the book to quit. And I didn't. I can't quit. I won't. It's against who I am as a person. So I want you guys to have that same fire in you. Okay? I'm sure every single one of you has been counted out at some point in your life. I have too. We all have. Right? We all have. And maybe you guys still are. But you have to look in yourself. This is all about you. At the end of the day, when you lay your head down on your pillow, if you can say to yourself, I gave today 110%. If you can do that every single day, I guarantee you'll get results. I guarantee you'll get results. Now, you're not always going to be able to do that, and that's fine. But consistency. Whatever we do, if we do it consistently, that'll make a big difference. So, like I said, the biggest takeaway is, if I can do this, anybody can do this. Shout-outs for you two, doing push-ups with me. I enjoy that very much. And that is it for me. I don't know how long it was, but I think I went pretty quick. So, I want to take questions. Go ahead.
How do you balance that schedule on basically not giving up, always having that confidence, that energy?
Get a team. Get a team around you. I have Alan as a mentor. I have very successful business owners, Dave Meltz. So the people that we have in our life, we worked unbelievably hard to get. From the outside looking in, it looks like Alan and I have a very easy life. And we are constantly working every single day. We have a business. And maybe your parents are business owners, or maybe you guys are business owners.
My boyfriend has the same exact dream. He wants to basically use art and dance as a thing. He's been taking this life course that helps him understand himself a lot more. And then he's always gave me that encouragement that if I want to get fit, I got to actually start stretching and moving my body. And he gives me that courage to do that.
Well, that's reverse engineering the finish line, right? So to figure out how to proceed. Is anybody in construction? Anybody ever built anything with their hands? Okay. How do you build a house? You look at the blueprint. You have to know what the end goal looks like before you can reverse engineer it. And that's the problem, that a lot of us don't have clarity. I know Alan is going to talk about clarity. The more clear you can get on your goals, on your dreams, on your passion, on your purpose, on the life that you want, the better you can chase it. And you just have to break it down in actionable steps. Every single day I have a checklist that I do. I have 10 or 5 things that I do every single day that gets me closer to my goal. I'm always at the gym. We podcast 4 times a week. I have coaching calls. I have special dates with my girlfriend. I have time with my friends. Whatever it is for me. I track my finances. I track my weight. I track my calories. I track podcasts. All of those things. So what you measure will change over time as long as you're measuring it right. And then just reverse engineer whatever it is you want to succeed.
How did you go through your depression?
How did I go through it? So first, I hid it because I didn't want my girlfriend to know, because I didn't want her to think I was weak. And then I went to therapy. I went to therapy in Boston. So I've actually been suicidal twice. The first time I went to therapy, the second time was when I was sitting on the edge of the bed in New Jersey, and I texted Alan.
Bed? Like, what do you mean bed?
So I used to travel up and down the East Coast. I was a construction foreman. Yeah, I was sitting on the edge of a hotel bed in the morning. But I reached out to people that I loved, that I trusted, and that I knew wouldn't judge me. And I got help, professional help. I always advocate for therapy. I used to think people would look down on me for going to therapy, but I've helped a lot of people go to therapy, and I know it makes a giant difference. What else?
You sound very regimented.
Yes.
Do you have any flexibility or just,
It
hey,
depends.
today I'm going to the beach?
I went to the beach once this year, but my girlfriend made me kind of. It's for me. It's not about. This. I've gotten this from Alan. It's not about the day-to-day pleasure for me. Like if I was searching for pleasure, I wouldn't be here. This is uncomfortable for me, 100%. So if I always just seeked out pleasure, I would never accomplish the things that I want to accomplish.
No, I'm not saying always, but I mean, there has to be some point where you eat the dish of ice cream. Or
Oh no, yeah, I eat ice cream. Trust me, after I'm done, I'll be eating a couple slices of pizza. But when it comes to like dream chasing, I prioritize this over everything else. Friday night, I stayed up until basically Saturday morning when everybody else was out drinking. This is my passion. This is my purpose. This is the reason I'm here. If you're in my life and you're not into this, that's fine. But you probably won't be in my life for very long because I'm trying to go all the way. Yeah, most people will chase what feels good so much that they'll end up sitting in front of the TV and watching Netflix all day. The problem is when you chase what makes you feel good, you don't feel good later when you feel like you didn't accomplish anything.
Oh, I have the most important question.
I have the most important answer.
Yeah, my most important answer is basically a lot of people were able to overcome their ego. They listen to more of their intuition, more than their ego, because their ego sometimes will take us over. Either if we say the wrong thing to another person that they might take it by heart, or basically if our ego is saying like, oh no, I don't want to exercise, but our intuition tells us no, get out of your bed and start stretching.
Well, I think there's a disconnect between a little bit of your definition of ego. There's logic and emotion. I don't ever really want to work out. I don't wake up in the morning and say, yes, I cannot wait to work out. No.
And that's okay.
Right. So that's the emotional part of your brain saying this is going to be tough. The logical part says you need to be in shape to continue doing your mission. You love the feeling you get afterwards. When it comes to ego, the ego is usually whether or not you're super humble because you don't believe in yourself, or you're cocky, or you're arrogant. That's usually where the ego gets in.
Yes.
And that's usually from lack of enoughness.
That
on either end.
sometimes happens to a lot of people.
Yes.
And I've had that issue back in high school where I let my ego get the best of me.
How did you break that down?
I was able to kind of actually watch what I say to other people that are very sensitive, and I try to respect other people's decisions. I try to basically use more of my intuition now because there's more out there that I'm missing out. And I'm not letting my ego.
Remember this, so a lot of people will tell you how to do what you're doing. Like Alan and I, a lot of people say, this is how you should do the podcast. You should do the podcast this way. This is how you should speak. It's very easy for people who aren't doing what you're doing to tell you what to do. That is usually where the ego will come in. It's for you to be humble enough to say, thank you so much, I appreciate your input, but I'm going to continue doing it my way. The problem is they don't have the humility because they've never been humbled.
Yes.
We always talk about feedback. If Alan is a fitness guy, okay? He had a fitness show planned, and I said, Alan, you're not in shape. You're going to lose. I guarantee it. I've done bodybuilding shows. I know. And he said, nah, man, I'm fine. I'm good. I got the genetics. I just got to show up and we're fine. Where the night before, Alan's posing, and me and my friend Matt are like, oh, this is not going to be good. This is not going to be good. What happened was Alan avoided feedback the whole time from the people who knew exactly what he needed. He got feedback that day on stage. Right? You said that was one of the worst feelings you ever had. The guy next to me was like, who is that idiot up there? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know who that is. So
Sounds like he's hard-headed.
he is
I was on
hard-headed.
that.
What was it? What was your name? Xavier?
I remember.
What are you going through, my man? Talk to me.
Nothing, I'm just exhausted today.
All right. Tell me more. I got a vibe from you.
I'm just tired just because I worked a lot today.
What'd you do?
Unloaded a truck full of furniture, glass furniture, so I didn't like drop anything.
That's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, so
Stressful.
What do you want to do with your life?
be a motivational speaker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Come up here.
I can
Perfect.
see you doing
Come up here for a
that.
second.
Hey, you had a good voice. Beautiful voice.
Come on up. How old are you?
19.
19. You're taller than me. Let me get a stool. All right, let's preach some motivational stuff.
I can know spot depends.
What's your fundamentals? What motivates you? What can I say to you right now to motivate you to run through that wall?
I don't know, probably something I've been through.
Okay, tell me what you've been through.
Growing up without a father.
Okay.
Growing up in a rough household, and pretty much, yeah.
Struggle growing up without a father. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Don't let that. Do you ever feel like, and if this is too much in front of these people, you let me know?
No, I spoke about it before.
Does it ever make you feel like less of a man because you don't have one around?
Did before.
Okay. How'd you get over that?
Just try to be better than my father.
Okay.
Just because he wasn't there for me doesn't mean I wouldn't do the same thing to my own kid.
Use an example.
Yeah.
What made you want to be a speaker? That?
Yeah, that, and then when I usually tell my story, when I speak to other people, they feel comfortable to like talk to me, or they get something out of it. I'm not like freaking, all that, but
No.
if I could like make someone feel comfortable around me, because I grew up shy and like I stutter sometimes when I'm like nervous, but when I'm off, like when I'm comfortable around people, it like you get the full me,
Yeah. Promise me the first speech you do, you send to me.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Right now, he might hope to be a motivational speaker, but he is the best motivational listener, because everybody will talk to him.
I saw him intently looking. That's why I had a moment. I had a vibe.
He listens. Everybody will talk to him.
Well, it's a good listener is usually a good speaker.
Yeah.
That should never stop.
Yeah, oh, never.
If you're living a fulfilling life and you're contributing, that'll never stop. It's always the next level. It's always. I was just a podcaster a year ago. Now I'm a podcaster and a speaker and a coach. After that, I'm going to be an author in another year, right? I'm going to be married eventually. Everything I do, I'm so focused on doing it to the best of my ability, not because I want to show off, but because I want to connect with people like you. I want to connect with everybody. I want everybody to know that I truly believe that everybody wants fulfillment by helping others. There's a reason it makes you feel good when you help other people. Imagine if you could bottle that up and sell it. Imagine if you could bottle that up and make money on it. Like, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I didn't make money for 2 years. I left $100,000 a year on the table, and I didn't make a penny for 2 years. I left everything behind because that's how much this means to me. And it could be like that for everything. Motivational speaking is great, and it's going to take time, for sure. And anything we can do, let me know. If you ever are struggling and you're looking for speeches, like, let me know. We'll help you. But whatever it is you guys want to do, it's not easy. And I would be lying to you if I got up here in front of you and said it's easy. And that would be, I'd be doing you a misfortune, or what's the word I'm looking for, Alan? Disservice. I'd be doing you a disservice if I sat up here and said, whatever it is you want to do is going to be easy. Is it possible? Yes. Can you do it if you try hard, believe in yourself? Yeah. Will it take time? Absolutely. Will you fail? Guaranteed. But that's part of the journey.
I want to clear the air. I was talking more empathy, so she just said the difference, because lack of empathy is basically something else totally different, so I might have gotten confused on those two terms.
Yeah, so somebody who is empathetic, just for those who might not have heard, somebody who is empathetic, they care, they love, they want the best for other people. Somebody who has a lack of empathy, they're very selfish. They don't care about other people, they don't care about other people's feelings. Mm-hmm. Anything else? Questions, comments, concerns?
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
So for everyone in this room who now knows Kevin to a greater extent than you did prior, Kev, for them, what is one gem that you want them to leave with today, if nothing else? Like one takeaway for them to grab and really implement in their own life. If there's not a new action that you take in your life after tonight, then we would consider this a failure from our perspective. So we hope that you take something and do something with what he's talking about here. So what's one thing that they can do and actually take a new action?
I would literally sit down and write out what you want your future life to look like. Like I said earlier, a lot of us go through our lives living by accident. We just show up every day and we wait for the day to be over. That's not how you want to live your life. You want to be excited for your life. What would your dream life look like? Every night when I go to bed, I think of, what would my dream bed look like? What would my dream bedroom, my dream house, my dream relationship, my dream car, my dream day? I'd wake up and I'd come speak, and I'd podcast later, and then I'd get to spend the night and have dinner with my girlfriend. Whatever it is. Whatever it is for you, and then you can reverse engineer it, like I talked about earlier. You have to just get clear.
But don't you want to like set like small goals at first, right? Because if
Yeah.
you don't achieve that big goal, right, then you think you failed again. Then you don't want to set another goal because you didn't reach that first goal you set. You set it way too high.
So Alan and I have this, we call it a system of success. So basically every day in my health, wealth, and love buckets, I have 5 things I should do. When it comes to health, I wake up in the morning, I'm up at 4:30 every day, I foam roll. Every morning I foam roll. Then I go to the gym. If I don't go to the gym, I do yoga. I track my calories, I track my weight, and I graph it, and then I drink 90 ounces of water every
The thing I want to make very clear, he was never like this before.
Right.
He was never like this before. So if you have a vision of what your dream life would be, don't worry about the how yet. The system of success, the small goals will come later. Dream big first. Start there, really feel it in advance. Like Kevin was nothing like that. He used to chase pleasure at the expense of fulfillment all the time until he started learning personal development. Until he started learning about success. If I go to school for 4 years and become an electrical engineer like I did, everyone knows if you want to be an engineer, you have to go to school for 4 years. But if you want to be successful, why don't you study success? I'm an engineer. Why? Because I have a degree in engineering. I don't have a degree in success, but I study success more than I ever did engineering. The only difference between this Kevin and the Kevin that I knew 2.5 years ago is that he studied these principles. He studied success, and then it started to leak into his habits, and it became the man you see today. He was nothing like this before. I wish I could show you a photo.
You know, you probably wouldn't be able to tell from a photo. That's the problem.
Right.
The problem is I looked like I had it all. I had the results. You guys probably would have been more impressed with my lifestyle then versus now.
Right.
But I wasn't. I wanted to kill myself. That's a pretty low place to be. And that's why I know that it's not the results you want. It's the journey. It's the journey that gives you the pleasure.
All this waking up at 4 a.m., health, wealth, and love, the system of success, the goals, the dreams, the scheduling time with his girlfriend, all that stuff never existed before. That was not the way he always was. He used to be the guy who just went to the beach just because. There's nothing wrong with that. But now he designed a life on his own terms. And it's based on what he cares about most and not pleasure in the moment, whereas he used to be the opposite. And I think that when we see someone so impressive up here, we lose sight of the fact that we can do that too. The old Kevin, 3 years ago, watching this Kevin, would think it was impossible. Guaranteed.
I wouldn't be here.
Right.
I always say that. Like, I never believed in myself. I didn't know this was possible. Like, when I say that, I'm not BSing you guys. I had zero self-belief. I never thought I could start a business. I never thought I could be a coach. I never thought I could be a speaker. I never thought anybody would be listening to me. Like, nobody would pay me to help them change their lives. I never believed in any of that. The number one thing is get around people who believe in you, or get around people who have the results that you want. I've had several multi-millionaires say, Kevin, that's a great idea. Why don't you follow through on that? If a multi-millionaire believes in me, why can't I? They have the results I want. So find the person who has the results you want, figure out how you can be of service to them, get around them, get in their orbit, and I guarantee your life will change. I bet any amount of money on it. You are. The thing about social media, I'm sure all you guys have social media. I have clients who look unbelievably happy on social media,
But they're not.
and they're not at all. Like, to the point where I'm saving them from breakdowns multiple times a week. The worst thing you can do is hide from your problems because they don't go away unless you face them. And the fact that, again, you're using your deepest pain now to help others.
Right.
That's what I'm doing. That's what Alan's doing. I truly believe that's the key to life. It's just about, a lot of people don't believe that they can do it. And I think anybody can do it as long as they work hard. All right, that's it for me.
Sounds good, brother. Strong work.
Appreciate it.
Strong work.
Thank you, guys.
So I did have a format that I wanted to go over. I have 7 flashcards in front of me. But one of the things that I really want to do is kind of what he did, which is try to figure out what you guys' challenges are in your life right now. Because, like I said at the beginning, it's really easy for Kevin and I to come up here. For the last several years, all we've focused on is personal development and helping others. And the long-term compound effect of that every day creates something that may seem, looking at a glance, impossible. But it's not true. I really wish that I could put Kevin 3 years ago in these chairs with you guys and showcase, like, the fact of what is possible for you with a couple distinctions. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about here was lifestyle design, how to live an intentional life. What the Hyperconscious podcast is really about is this. Why am I doing what I'm doing? The ancestor to every action is a thought. So for example, you want to be a motivational speaker. Okay. Have you designed a life on the day-to-day basis that is bringing you closer to that vision? Because if the answer is no, it's not just going to happen. Now, I'm not calling you out. I agree. You have a dream. To me, that's the number one first start. Clarity of what you want to do with your life. I call it day and decade, okay? Is my day-to-day life bringing me closer to the vision I have for my decade? So everything starts with clarity. So for everyone in here right now, I'd like to go one by one. Just say what's at the top of your mind, the very first thing, a dream that you have. Go ahead.
Open a sober house.
Open a sober house. Beautiful. Finding happiness. Love it. Keep going.
I'm a book author.
Book author. Artist? What kind? Say again?
Drawing artist.
Drawing? Excellent. Go ahead. Anything that pops up. It doesn't have to be perfect. Something that you'd like to do. It can be something on your bucket list. It doesn't have to be a big grand dream, just some dream. Something you'd like to do one day. Keep thinking, we'll come back. Go ahead.
Practicing psych.
What is it?
Practicing
Psych?
psych.
Entertainer.
Entertainer? Motivational speaker? Perfect. Strong work, by the way. Strong work. One of my mentors, after my first time telling my story, he said, that's the worst you'll ever do. First one's always the worst. You're only going to get better from here. What about you? I'll come back. Go ahead. Hair? Nice. If this is uncomfortable, it's a good thing. Okay? Most people are not thinking about their future, and that's why they don't have hope for it. Today, I'm going to tell you something about the human condition. There's a book by Viktor Frankl. He was in World War II. He stayed at a concentration camp. When you lose hope for your own future, you stop investing today. Then there's no reason to go to the gym. So if you don't have hope for your own future, I want you to design it in advance, have hope for it, believe in it, and then you'll be willing to invest today. I'll give you an example. Why would you put money aside today to save for college or for your kid's college if you didn't envision having a kid and having a kid who you one day want to go to college? You wouldn't. You'd spend that money. The same goes for where we spend our time, where we spend our money, who we spend our time with. The difference between this Kevin and the Kevin 3 years ago is the people he spent time with, and he didn't believe in his own brighter future. He had no macro. He was living every day for the micro, the day-to-day. So go ahead in the back. Any dream? Nurse? Awesome. Okay, so everything in lifestyle design starts with clarity. If you do not know what you want out of life, you will never get it. And not only will you never get it, but you won't even know if you did get it. How do you hit a target you don't have? So I want to encourage all of you to create a target. So the one takeaway that Kevin said was write out, don't worry about the how yet. Just write out, what do I want my life to be like? What do I want to be like? Okay? I'll give you an example, super tangible example. So 4 years ago, I was 160 pounds, skinny, fat alcoholic. Drank too much and too often. 160 pounds, I was lanky. People made fun of me constantly for my physique. I didn't have a lot of respect. The only difference between that Alan and this Alan is a dream. I dream now to be the greatest natural aesthetic men's physique fitness athlete on the planet. I'm nowhere near that goal, but I'll tell you what. The only way I overcame my kryptonite, which is an addiction to alcohol, is by creating a dream that's bigger than it. If I want to be the greatest natural aesthetic men's physique fitness model on the planet, okay, guess what? Alcohol is now terrible for that. I cannot have alcohol in my system of success on a day-to-day basis if I want to achieve my dream. So now I have to choose my dream or booze. And I'll tell you what, not drinking booze has changed my family's life. It's changed my influences. It's changed my associations. It's changed everything. It is not about achieving the dream. It is about what the dream will make of you to achieve it. I am a byproduct of wanting to be a world-renowned speaker. I don't even know if I'll ever get there. The only reason why I'm fit and speaking to you what I hope is eloquent is because of my dream. So everyone in here right now, think of something, for me it's Good Will Hunting. Think of a movie or a book or a person, a service, like Michael Gorman, for example. His dream, you are all a part of now. What if he didn't believe in himself? None of us would be here right now. What if Kevin didn't believe in the podcast? He would never have had Michael Gorman on the show. I wouldn't be here right now. All of this is a
It takes other people to believe in what you believe in too, to support you.
Say again?
You know, like people that support your dream, that see your vision, that see your podcast.
Right.
That are like, all right, like this is motivational. I can listen to this and get something out of it every day, and it's
Right.
going to help me ultimately be hungry and be wanting that better for my life and being motivated to get it.
Totally. So I'll take you back 4 years ago. I want to be a world-renowned speaker because one of my heroes is Tony Robbins. If I didn't want to be a world-renowned speaker, one of the reasons we started the podcast is I had a podcast called Conversations Change Lives. He had a podcast that he wanted to start called the Hyperconscious Podcast. His dream was to be a world-renowned podcaster. That was my dream as well. Now we partner up, and now the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Then, fast forward 2.5 years later, Michael Gorman comes on our show, and then we show up here to speak. If you don't have a vision for your future, it's always going to feel a little more hopeless. I would rather work towards something I believe in every single day than just kind of chase whatever's pleasurable in the moment. So if you want to have direction, you want to have discipline, you want to have structure, you got to have something that you know you want. Now, the thing is you can let that grow and evolve and change. So, for example, someone in here shout out their favorite movie. Anybody? Castaway? Okay. Tom Hanks had a dream to become an actor. And then who directed that film, do you know? Someone chased their dream. So Good Will Hunting changed my life. If Matt Damon and Ben Affleck didn't write that script in their 20s and then get that movie made and then find Robin Williams, then I wouldn't be the man I am today. And that's the thing. I believe in dreams so wholeheartedly. So few people have them and hold on to them and actually chase them. So that's the first thing I want is get clarity on whatever your dream is and then make sure the day-to-day life you're designing is actually getting you closer to that. Like, for example, Kevin asked you if you feel like you're happy because your goal was to be happy. And you said, well, not yet, or you inferred that. But if you're progressing towards your dream, then you'll be happy along the way. I think there's 3 forms of happiness. You guys have probably all heard that thing where John Lennon, basically a teacher asked him, what do you want out of your life? And what do you want to do with your life? And he said, I want to be happy. And then the teacher said, you don't understand the assignment. And he said, no, you don't understand life. Here's the problem with that. Happiness, I think we defined poorly. Happiness, what does that mean? Okay. Happiness is result reliant. If there's an Oreo over there, and then I go eat it and I love Oreos, I'll be happy, but only for a moment. I think happiness is 3 things. I think there's joy, which is being in the process of doing something you enjoy. I love to speak. So right now I'm enjoying myself. That's joy. That's different than happiness because it's not result reliant. If this speech doesn't do well, that doesn't mean I'm not enjoying right now. Okay, so that's the first thing. Happiness is result reliant. If I succeed in this speech and you guys enjoy me and take something out of it, then I'll be happy. I'll get that dopamine hit. Same with the Oreo. The third piece is fulfillment. This is the piece people are missing today, I believe. The only way you will feel fulfilled is 2 things. If you grow as a person through adversity and you serve something greater than yourself. That's the piece that I think everyone's missing. So everyone in this room tonight, I hope you go home and you create a dream that you use your unique gifts and talents to serve the world. The only thing that matters right here, you guys probably heard this quote before by Jim Carrey. He said this, I can tell you from experience that the most valuable currency there is the effect you have on others. And so all of you have been through pain, you've all been through adversity, you all have a dream, or you will soon. Whatever your unique talents are, when you provide that to help other people, that's going to be the most fulfilling thing in the world. One thing I want to explain right now real quick. Okay. So I have this iPhone in my pocket. This is the iPhone 8 Plus. A decade ago, I was there because I'm 30 now, when the first iPhone came out. Now my question is this. At the time, the iPhone was a complete revolutionary breakthrough. Who here was around when the iPhone first came? You guys remember that? Okay.
I remember the switch from BlackBerry.
Right. Exactly. Keyboard, touch screen. Right. Revolutionary breakthrough. Right? The whole world went nuts over the first iPhone. Okay. Now, if I gave you that iPhone, you would think it was a complete and utter piece of crap. You couldn't do anything. Did it even have internet? I don't even know. Would it even work? Have you ever seen an iPhone 5 recently? This is not that.
Connected to like
It's
Wi-Fi.
right. It's like the tiniest little thing. What made this, what was once a revolutionary breakthrough, is now a complete piece of crap. What changed? I believe it's two things changed. So I was supposed to have a whiteboard up here. No worries on that. But okay, so there's three facets of business. I'll keep this super simple. Innovation, marketing, and money. Okay? Innovation is improving the product. Apple took the money they made on the first iPhone, invested it in a bunch of the best engineers to make it better. Okay, that's innovation. Then they took money and put it into marketing to then give it to more people. They sold the new phone to even more people, and then they reinvested that money to make it even better, and then sell it to even more people, and then make it even better, and sell it to even more people. Humans are the same way. Every single day, I invest my time and money into making myself better. And then I take myself, the product, the iPhone, and serve the world with it. And I make more money to do that. And then I reinvest that money to make myself better, and it's a snowball effect. So the only question is, do you know why you're here, what you're going to do to serve the world, and then what you need to improve in yourself in order to do that? And that's kind of what I want you guys to take away. What do I want to do to serve the world? And then what do I need to improve upon in myself to actually do that? For you, it's going to be speaking. You're going to have to get around people like Kevin and I and learn how to speak. You might want to watch TED Talks regularly. But that's lifestyle design in and of itself. Figuring out who you want to help, why you want to help them, and then the skills that you're going to need to develop in order to do that. So now I want to open it up to questions. So I'm trying to think to myself, if I was in those seats, there's something that all of you in here are better than me at. When I walk into a room, I always want to understand, what is this person more competent than me about? What do they know more than me about? And then how can I learn from them? So if there's anything that you want to know from me or Kevin, please ask questions. That's going to be the one common denominator between all successful people. They are unreasonably into learning. Go ahead.
How did you get through your alcoholism and addiction to alcohol?
I grew up in an environment where alcohol was very common from a very young age. I still struggle with it. Right now, I think I'm 75 days sober. The longest I've ever, thank you. The longest I've ever gone was a little over 400. So I went a full year. That was my goal for a long time. Changing my environment, for sure, the people I associate with. But more importantly, deciding in advance to achieve a dream that forces me not to drink. So for example, if I care about this dream so much, and it's to be a natural aesthetic men's physique fitness model, alcohol is really bad for your body, right? So if you want to be a ripped fitness model, alcohol's not really a good thing to do. Basically, I created a dream that I wanted more than booze.
What the 12 steps did you do on your own?
I did on my own. Anyone else have any questions? If there's anything that you want to learn today, please ask me and I'll give you the best answer that I can. We're 214 episodes in on the podcast. We literally interview the most successful people in the world and we ask them questions, so we've accumulated a lot of knowledge. Go ahead.
I did hear alcoholism. Of what I've learned, it's the hardest thing to overcome, but I can tell, you have overcome that and you're now in a better spot. So I will give you props on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How did you go through without having a father?
Say again?
How did you go through without having a father?
One of my deepest pains was not having a strong male role model growing up, and I think that's part of why I'm in front of you guys today, because I want to be an example for the youth that I don't think I ever really had. Fortunately, like Kevin, I had some women in my life that absolutely loved me, adored me, and were always there for me. But when it came to being a masculine example, I didn't, it took me a really long time to figure that out. I still struggle with it because I have so many mentors actually that I think really embody great men. So that's helped me a lot. So if I were you, I would definitely get a mentor who believes in you and who cares about you. And most importantly, they want your best interests regardless of themselves. And, I hope that answers your question. I could talk to you for hours about, not having a father. Anyone else have any questions?
Do you speak another language?
I don't.
Would you guys ever learn a different language?
I took a lot of Spanish in high school. I would like to, ideally. You know what's interesting about that? Learning other languages opens up other parts of your brain. So, yes. The answer is yes. I can go down into the neuroscience rabbit hole, but go ahead.
How many years have you been studying engineering?
So I went to college at Worcester Polytechnic Institute for 4 years. I got my bachelor's, and then I got my master's in marketing and business. Then I went into corporate America for a really long time, but I realized that So I didn't actually tell you the story, but I basically was in a car accident where fortunately no one got hurt, but I thought it was going to be the end. And for those of you who don't know, my father passed away when I was 2 in a car accident. So when I was 26, that shook the snow globe for me. That was when I questioned everything. And that's when I really started to design my own life. Really, because I had that what if that was it moment. Would I be proud of the man I became? Did I courageously fight for what I believe in? Or did I just do what was expected of me? We had an author on the podcast not long ago, two or 3 weeks ago, Bronnie. She wrote a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. This is something I wanted to bring to this room. The number one regret, I have a flashcard in my pocket that says it at all times, is I wish I had lived a life true to myself, not what others expected of me. I think people are so damn critical, and it's like, I guess make sure that you're living a life true to yourself and not what your peer group expects of you. And the funny thing is that my peer group actually expects me to live congruent with me. And they call me out when I'm not. It's different than what it used to be, which is, oh, you got to be this or that. Go ahead. Anything you guys want to know that like you think I might know. There's like a lot. Here's the thing. If you study successful people and do what they do, you'll be more successful. If you study unsuccessful people and avoid doing what they do, you'll be more successful. If there's nothing else you take away from today, it's figure out who to learn from and stay there. The funny thing is, Kevin wants to be a podcast coach. He wants to go into businesses and help them have more impact and make more money through starting a podcast. Great idea. If he comes to me with that, I'm going to be like, hell yeah, man, go get it. He goes to his mentor, David Meltzer, who's a multimillionaire podcaster, and Dave Meltzer thinks it's a great idea. If he had gone to anyone in Uxbridge, they would have given him 10 reasons why not to do it. They have no idea what they're talking about. Stop listening to people who don't know. Figure out if they have a successful system, you can learn from them. But don't let other people, if you have a dream, hold on to it deeply and don't let other people, bury that. It's definitely hard.
It's not easy.
These are kids that we're talking to. We need to talk to the reality of life.
All my mentors came from nothing and they're all multimillionaires. It is possible. And that's not to say that that's what you want. That's not even just, if you don't want to be a millionaire, you don't have to be a millionaire. It's not about the $1 million. After you make the $1 million, you can give it away. It's who you had to become to achieve it. That's what matters. Like, think about it. If you want to be a millionaire, who do you have to become? You're going to have to become 10 times more than you would have otherwise. And that's what matters. If you're going to be proud of yourself, and no one just gives away money. This is the other thing people don't understand about business. Business is an altruistic money machine for the most part. Here's the problem though. You have cigarette companies who make tons of money at the detriment of others. That's not a good business in my opinion. But what if your business is selling books that change people's lives? Then you make $1 million. Let's say I sell my book for $1 to 1 million people. I'm a millionaire and I helped 1 million people. That's awesome. That's where ambition is a good thing. So I think we get this skewed perspective. Just because some people make money in a horrible way doesn't mean all of us do. Business is supposed to be at the service of others, not at the expense of others. And it hasn't always been that way. So I'm such a huge advocate for big dreams, regardless of where you come from. I see my mentors, again, they came from nothing, discriminated. Like it's who they became as individuals, who they had to. I'll tell you something. Diamonds are shaped by pressure. When you have a big dream and you're stretching constantly and growing and it's forcing you to invest today for a brighter tomorrow, you become something really valuable. And more importantly, you become something and someone that you're proud of. I wasn't always proud of myself. When I had that car accident, that's the questions I was asking myself. I wasn't proud of the man I was. I had all the outside results, the degrees and all that, and the money and all that, but I wasn't proud of who I was as a man. I wasn't proud of the contribution I was giving to the world. I was actually selling industrial automation equipment that took jobs. I would go into manufacturing facilities, see pictures on the walls of the 90s and 80s and 70s, where the whole manufacturing facility was full of workers, and I would sell automation equipment that would take people's jobs. That's why it's become my mission to help empower and educate the youth. That's why I'm here today. Because if you don't get into personal development and start learning and training your brain and reading books and having dreams, then we will all be automated. I used to literally make thousands and thousands of dollars, huge bonus checks, because I would go in and there'd be people checking that Dunkin' Donuts bottle and it going down the line, and I would sell cameras that would do that for them, way faster and way better. That's never going to stop. So you have to make yourself more marketable. One of the things we do on the podcast, we bring on our mentors, and then I asked my mentor recently, you're an employer. What do you look for in a candidate? So that you guys and I can embody it so that we can get jobs, so that we can flourish and prosper and be successful. And so that's become my mission. I used to sell automation equipment that took jobs. Now I want to empower people to create their own.
Like, how do I convince myself to step out of my comfort zone? Like, a dream is not enough.
Dream's not enough for you. Okay. So, who do you care about most in the world? Think of that person.
My daughter.
Okay. You would do anything for her.
Yeah.
Okay. Think about it this way. The only way to affect your daughter's life in the long term is to lead by example. If you care about your daughter more than anything else, I would get leverage on yourself. Like, would I want her to live the way I'm living? Would I want her to go outside her comfort zone? Because people will never do what you say, but they will do what you do. Who you are matters more than the words.
That's still not enough.
Okay, it's still not enough.
Tell me something, a little more to convince me.
Okay, let's do this. What do you like to do? Tell me a little bit about yourself. No? Well, then I can't. So you can't influence someone unless you know what already influences them. One of the difficult parts about a speech like this is that I don't necessarily know as much as, like, if you were a one-on-one client, I could pick your brain first, understand what influences you. I'll do this. Who in here loves Tom Brady? We're in New England. Does everyone love Tom Brady in here?
Tom Brady's God.
Right.
I do like Antonio Brown. He's also a good player in the Patriots.
Okay, so the reason why I say that is because all of you know Tom Brady and value Tom Brady, so I could use that as a reference to influence you. Whereas if I said someone that no one likes, it wouldn't work. So for you, you got to get leverage on yourself. You got to know what influences you. Do you think you're more driven by others or by self? So do you, okay, let's ask some questions. This is good. Do you think that you go out of your way to help others more than you help yourself? Okay, so why not leverage that by if you don't put the oxygen mask on yourself first, you can't help anyone else. When the plane's going down and your daughter's there, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself, otherwise you can't help your daughter. So to me, some people are more selfish and some people are more selfless naturally. Some people are more significance driven. They want to be masterful. I'll be honest with you guys. I want to be good at my craft. I'm very mastery driven. Other people are very service driven. But what we don't realize is that one of them is personal growth, investing in yourself, and that's selfish, quote unquote. The other one is service, helping others. I would argue you're probably over here, so you want some more of this, because without this, you can't help serve at a greater level. What is the next step for you? Or the next domino to knock down? This was uncomfortable for both of us today. Like, straight up, this is still uncomfortable. So we're doing it for a greater end state. So I'm trying to figure out what your greater end state is. So what's the next domino that you need to knock down?
I'm trying to use every second.
What specifically do you want to get outside your comfort zone to do?
Huh?
You want to get outside your comfort zone, right? Yeah. What in particular is it that you're not doing that you want to be doing?
There's a few options.
There's a few options. Can you tell me the arena? Give me a...
Alright, so like I do plating, right? I work with chemicals, and then every
Okay.
time an engineer would try to solve a problem, I'm right there with them, and I can't stop it.
There's fear holding us all back from taking action. So what is it that you're afraid of? Just go with your gut. And this is awesome, by the way. This is great. This is fire.
If I work so hard for something, and then I end up not wanting it.
Okay.
Starting off.
The 3 beliefs you must have to take action. 3 beliefs, and these are usually subconscious. Number 1, I can do this. Number 2, everything's figure-outable and I will do it. And then number 3 is it'll be worth it when I do it. That's the problem. If you have this subconscious thing, it might not be worth it, you're always going to pump the brakes and you're going to stay on the fence. And by the way, the fence is where no action gets taken and you don't fail forward and you don't learn anything. So it's like my treasure is out there. It is out there. I will find it no matter what. And it'll be worth it when I do find it. Those 3 must be there. And if they're not, you'll just stay on the fence forever. So you got to put yourself in your future and put yourself on your, 2 years from now, are you sitting there with regret, wishing that you started a business? This is awesome. The fact that you're even contemplating this is amazing. The fact that you're contemplating, I see that you have Friends on as well. I like that. One of my favorite shows. But the fact that you're even contemplating this, how long ago did you decide that you might want to start your own business?
Last week.
Last week. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Last year, it crossed my mind. I watched so many videos.
Okay.
And I would do my lashes and everything. But then I just kind of just like...
So you can Miyagi yourself by doing some videos while going to school and then figure out which one you resonate with more. So you can, for lack of better phrasing, Miyagi yourself, trick yourself by trying to do it. And if you fall in love with it, you're naturally going to be drawn to that more. School's going to get less of your attention, and then you'll know that that's the road you should go down, right? So what's stopping you from getting your first client then? Free client. You do my lashes.
Pay for that class. You gonna pay for it?
You're going to pay for the class? Why not do it first? See if you like it.
Or I've already done it on myself. But I'm saying, to get the training.
So if you do it on someone else, see if you love it. Do it for free.
Yeah, what if
You can do Kevin's lashes.
I get a lot of compliments on my lashes.
That means you're doing your research on learning more about that business. If that's something that you want to do, then go for it.
How do you know if you love sushi? You never tried sushi. All right, see, I used the wrong thing. Doesn't influence her. You know what I mean, though? How do you know if you've never tried it? So to me, you need to get leverage on yourself. You're on the fence. You need something to tip you one way or the other. And the only thing that's going to tip you is new information.
It's all about researching.
You can research, but experiencing it's different. Swimming is different than researching how to swim. So for you, I think the next step is going to be getting a free client and then doing what you intend to do and seeing how much you love it. Because you might fall in love and be like, forget this other thing.
What's something you struggle to this day? I feel like you kind of hold back.
Something I struggle with?
You inspire a little different, but I feel like you're hiding something. I don't know.
Okay. What do I struggle with?
I know you said alcohol, but I feel like there's something more. I don't know what it is that you're hiding.
She is. She's coming in. No. I like it. Let's do it. No, you're right. Of course, we all have challenges. Look at me. I'm all guarded. I'm like this.
Especially when he asks you about something about the alcohol, you kind of hesitate.
About booze? I think the reason I hesitated is because it's hard to articulate a very long story in a very short amount of time.
But I feel like there's something more than just alcohol.
More than just alcohol? Yeah, intimate relationships. I got out of a difficult breakup recently, and I'm struggling with self-belief in intimate relationships. I think that I have yet to succeed in a long-term intimate relationship. I've been in 2 5-year ones and then 1 2.5-year one. But I think that I think I'm fairly ambitious, as you all know, and I feel like I haven't figured out how to navigate the balance between an intimate relationship and my dreams.
Do you have a hard time because you're comfortable?
In my relationship? Because I was comfortable?
Was it hard for you to step out of that comfort? And still struggling with that to this day?
It was difficult for me to like get her to understand my point of view in terms of what it's going to take of me to.
You broke her heart.
Yes.
Okay. How about the past 5 years?
Well, breaking her heart, did it let you down? Did it let yourself? Did you let yourself down?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, that's okay. It happens to
Yeah,
everybody.
absolutely.
How about the past 2 relationships, the 5 years?
The 5-year ones, I ended them.
You ended them?
Mhm.
Is there something you're facing within yourself that you can't stay in a long-term relationship?
This happens every time we go somewhere. Every single time we go somewhere. They break out and down.
I love it. All right. Well, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Right. I have yet to figure out how to navigate, how to balance my intimate relationship with my dreams. Like I'm very, very focused.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
Can I explain?
Yeah.
If Alan had to pick between his dreams and a relationship, he'd always pick his dreams. He doesn't care as much. I would pick probably the same, but I'm way more focused on making sure I'm married with kids than Alan is.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, how old are you?
30.
You're 30? You're not scared if you're running out of time? Why, because you got it all?
No. Not because I have it all. My focus is this stuff, helping people. When you do create, this is one of the darker sides of having huge dreams. When you create a huge dream, what it's going to require of you in terms of time and energy is much higher. So it takes away from, so for example, if I'm in the gym 2 hours a day and you and I are in a relationship, that might bother you if you're not into fitness. And I might try to tell you that 10 years down the road, when I'm achieving my dreams, it's going to be worth it. But I'm watering a plant a lot of times that other people can't see yet.
Do you think it's an issue with a partner because she can't see your vision?
I think that I have yet to find someone who understands that version of me and to realize that it's a good thing. And I also think that I struggle, I've learned how to be more vulnerable and more open.
Do you pick girls who just don't have a dream that they believe in also who achieve just as much as you do? You think that's a problem? They have too much free time?
I think that I have yet to be in an intimate relationship with someone who has a dream as big as mine, yes. And I think...
How do you know when you've achieved and that you're not dating and all of a sudden still reaching and you realize life has gone by because you've been so...
It's a great question. So, it's the joy, happiness, and fulfillment. I'm fulfilled along the way and I'm joyous in doing what I'm doing. And the happiness is whether or not I'm getting results. But I did have that moment. When I was...
has to be there too.
Totally. So when I got in that car accident and I was working in corporate America and making all that money and engineering degrees and all that stuff, I realized like I had that moment of what if that was it and I just all I did was strive. It's not like that for me anymore because now I'm fulfilled along the way. When you're doing something that is congruent with your heart's deepest desires and your core values, I feel like you aren't as concerned about. I'm not concerned about that. This isn't a waste of my time. This is like this is like everything to me.
You don't think like 10, 15, 20 years from now, older,
That I'll regret.
not even regret, but you're still not gonna want to keep achieving more. That is.
Oh, of course I will.
You're gonna be 80, and then you're gonna.
Oh, I'll never stop being ambitious. That's my favorite part of myself. That's awesome. I think ambition is huge because it's without my ambition, I'm not this man in front of you.
But what he went through and the struggle he's used to turn into his fire and his energy and his ambition, and that's what they do. Their ambition. That's why they're here talking to you guys.
So why don't you use him as an example? Use him as a mentor.
No, we don't need to do that though. We're gonna actually.
we gotta close up.
We're gonna leave him alone. And dude, you guys did great.
Thank you so
tonight.
much. Appreciate it.
For
Thank you so
coming
much.
in. You
Thank
guys
you.
are awesome.
Thank you.
I love it so much, dude. Yeah, definitely a pleasure to meet you guys.
Thank you.
I love your outlook, how you guys are like looking at life.